Hello everybody, this is FDV vladerag here to bring you another pro level cast between Bly as the orange Zerg in the bottom right and DNS, the red Protoss in the top left. Now, before I talk about anything else, I've cast this game 3-4 times now. First time, I was using a different recording software. You know, trying some things out, yeah. I mean, for some reason, even Fraps is running slowly right now, and not quite the FPS I would expect from it, but it's an RTS, so it's okay. XSplit, for some reason, was running at, like, 5. I don't even know why. I mean, yeah, you know, less than 60 FPS is okay on an RTS. You're not going to miss a whole lot. I mean, heck, frankly, let's be clear, YouTube, with its 30 FPS cap, you won't even notice this little extracted trick there. You won't even notice if it's, you know, at 45 FPS in-game, because they cap at 30. So yeah, whatever. However, XSplit was struggling to run it at 15 or 5 even. So that's just sad. And then the third time, I had push-to-talk enabled. So I was talking, but I wasn't pressing the button, and so it was just a silent cast of the entire game, which I guess some people would be interested in looking at, but hey, that's not what I do. What I do is cast games. And you know what? I feel like I've been gone for a while, and that's sort of a pity, because there's not a whole lot going on right now in the casting scene. Husky's releasing, like, what, a video a month, a video every couple of weeks. Last one I saw was Stefano versus the Muslim? Yeah, I believe so. Actually in the Legacy of the Void beta, which is fascinatingly interesting, or it would be if it didn't feel like, to me, Protoss was just being nerfed massively. Like, wow. I mean, they even have another warp gate nerf. We actually have a little bit of cheeky probe harass on the mineral line there. Always fun to do. Delay that mining by just a little bit. Something that would never matter in my league, but does in theirs. Anyway, so yeah, there's not a whole lot of StarCraft content, which I find strange. You'd think as Legacy of the Void gears up to come out, there'd be a lot more coming out, but no. Regardless of all that, let's talk about this game. We saw a hatch first into a pool and the extractor out of Bly, something perfectly safe for Zerg to do. Honestly, it's a little different. Since I left casting and am now returning to it, the game, I feel, has gotten a little more expand-focused, which is something that will be useful again in Legacy, where expansion is, like, the most necessary thing. I kind of hope they change that with the minerals and bring it back to the way it was in HOTS, but I don't think they will. And honestly, I would just probably have to get used to it. I'm just an old and tired old man here thinking about how things used to be back in my day. But yeah, that's not how it's going to be. So anyways, you have a couple of lings moving out. And this is actually one of the things I noticed. When you don't have a wall off immediately, there is a strong potential for harass. Not just against this base, but against your mineral line. Because while zealots are basically broken, if they can fight lings one at a time, if they have to fight lings in a group, they will be just destroyed. So this actually could be dangerous here for DNS. Especially as he begins to move a couple of workers over here and do that. Yep, he's going to bring the probe down. With the probe is basically like a proxy +1 attack. Because with the probe, as each one attacks, English is difficult, apparently, for me. When a probe attacks, the zealot will only need to strike twice. So it's like a proxy +1. Anyways, so far this is actually going very well for our Zerg, who has gotten, you know what, I probably could just check via doing this. Yeah, he's killed 2 workers and the zealot, and he's probably going to lose this ling to the mothership. Nope, saves it. But even with that, he actually traded very well there, about like 75 minerals lost. There's 131 there. That's showing extractor tricks and other little things that he's done, but he didn't actually lose that much. Or maybe he lost 5 lings. Yeah, that sounds about right. So yeah, a good trade there for Bly, doing well, is finally getting ahead in supply as he takes his third, as is customary for Zerg. Protoss doing well here, getting his warp gate. We're seeing the tech go down into the Stargate. This is my preferred opening versus Zerg, simply because mutas are insane to try and deal with. Actually, if you don't force them to go Hydralisks, and you can't answer the Mutalisks with Blink Stalker, which actually is very difficult because Mutalisks are just so fast, and with the regeneration it can become a little ridiculous. However, speaking on that note, if you can't deal with them, mutas will win the game, flat out. I of course know that a lot of pro players can deal with Mutalisks, so less of an issue for them. However, you almost need the Phoenix to do that. Of course, he's going for an Oracle first. One of the things I actually learned coming back to casting is that Oracles can apparently 1v1 a Queen. Always a useful feature. Trying to pick off that Overlord. He's got the Mothership Core there to spot. And no! Oh, that has to be painful. A nice save, though. Doesn't allow him to do the damage. So we have a couple of Lings here, scouting around, moving around, poking up the ramp. Sentry heavy, nothing too out of the ordinary. Although for a while we were seeing less Sentry in Protoss play. Oracle moving out. Does it get spotted? Yeah, it's spotted. Okay, so he knows about the Oracle. Or he probably does. So the funny thing, of course, is that if this was a Gold League game, I'd basically say that Oracle is invisible. In a in a Grandmaster League game, I would say he probably spotted it, but we're not actually seeing a reaction here. This could be dangerous, as it might be able to... Oh, here we go. Here we go. Queen versus Oracle. Oracle wins, because Oracles are just way too good. I mean, look at that. If you actually take a look at the amount of damage they do, they actually do basically, they're like Marines, but with twice the DPS, especially if you actually add light in. However, Queens aren't light. They're neither light nor armored. They're only biological, so they take extra damage from Archons and not much else. Anyway, seeing a little bit of poke around here, having all the force fields and hallucinations to scout with, actually seeing a Void Ray come out. Probably will be seeing Hydralisks out of, yep, there's the den coming down right there. Called it. Nailed it. As you see a little bit of a push out here. Now this is mostly safe because of the mass recall. The mass recall and the force fields basically allow Protoss to be a little bit of a dick at this point. As Zerg is just starting to tech, they really don't usually have a whole lot more than roaches, which actually you're just going to see come out now. And because of that, Protoss doesn't actually have a whole lot of risk involved here. They're able to poke around, pick off some things, and of course the Burrow though. This is one of the reasons to love Burrow, is that it actually prevented him from... I think Bly won that trade. Yeah, because Bly picked off a Sentry and DNS got nothing. So while it is true that Protoss was able to be a bit of a dick there, good use of Burrow prevents him from doing anything, and now we're seeing the robotics facility. Actually, now here's a question for me. What happened to that Oracle? Yeah, here's the Oracle. I mean, now if the Oracle had been with him during that push, I suppose he was trying to poke around the side, but the Oracle had been with him, he could have detected that and actually gotten some stuff. Picking off a probe here and there, there's a prismatic alignment. Actually, good that that'll be on cooldown here pretty shortly. Though honestly, since it goes on cooldown like that, it's only going to be on cooldown for a few seconds. Now, while it's on cooldown, though, he'll actually be able to do far less damage to these roaches, which is very, very important. Actually, now one of the things about the Legacy of the Void beta that I noticed that horrifies me as a Protoss player is that the upgrades to Ultralisks are now going to be far greater. Ooh, that's nice there by Bly. Drones, now here's a question. Do drones, yeah, drones don't actually get a movement speed boost on creep, so it's not boosting his drones. Ultralisks will now get an additional +2 armor from their armor upgrade. Like the one that comes from the Ultralisk Den, so they'll have a total of 8 armor when they hit the 3 armor upgrade, their natural armor, and the chitinous plating. If you take a look at where the Void Ray go, where did... Okay, they're over here. But yeah, if you take a look at them, their damage is not that much above that. I mean, you add 3 here because, you know, that's what's going to be there. It'll be +3 for +3 if you're doing that again, if you're going voids against ultras. So they'll have roughly, I mean, when you have prismatic alignment, it'll be another +6. So, what, 16, 19? Yeah, basically it will have the damage of Void Rays against them. And when they don't have prismatic alignment, yeah, they'll basically do no damage. They'll do, what, 5 damage? Yeah, they'll do less damage than if they were just attacking something like a Marine, with, you know, a 0/0/0 Marine. That's kind of painful. That's gonna hurt a lot. Anyways, getting back to this game. Getting away from the units, although I did see Vipers coming out, which will be, again, more OP in Legacy of the Void with their Parasitic Bomb. I mean, jeez. And we're seeing, yeah, a fairly normal looking engagement as Protoss feels, again, you feel safe. You have Mass Recall, he has Blink, he has Force Fields. He's able to get in and out of trouble, or rather, get into a fight, but stay out of trouble quite easily. And so it's really safe to poke around with this kind of composition. Especially because Zerg currently is not, well, of course, as I say that, he begins to move out with this little force of Roche Hydra. Honestly, I don't know if Bly is making a good move here. Yeah, their supplies are good, and frankly, Bly is killing and the resources count. But the issue is that this is dangerous versus that. Also, I swear I saw something hallucinated over here. I thought for a second he hallucinated a Colossus, which would have been hilarious. Overseer probably would have been able to detect that, but it depends on where he keeps the Overseer. And of course, you can always feedback the Overseer, and no, it doesn't have enough energy for that. Yeah, it's this kind of composition is becoming more and more common, actually, and will be far more common again in Legacy of the Void as they begin to phase out as the Colossus begins to sort of fade out with the nerf that's coming to them. And I almost feel like I'm talking gibberish right now. I need to get back into the casting rhythm as the cancel there. Flash forward, let's see if he gets a Roach. Roaches actually are dang fast once they get their upgrade. Like, just, oh my gosh. Do they really need a buff? No, they don't. Either way, lots of spine crawlers. With all the money he has, this is just sort of normal. Zerg just has the ability to start planting crawlers wherever they want and help back up their army with this, which is good because, I mean, if you don't do that, Protoss just has the damage, the DPS, that's just sheer unmitigated crushing blows that it usually doesn't make too much of a difference. However, Ultralisks. Ultralisks are a pain. A huge pain that our Protoss player is going to have to deal with here pretty soon. Although, you know, having said that, his comp is wonderful against Ultralisks. Immortal Heavy with High Templar added in for defense. Oh, and of course I missed these roaches. How wonderful of caster I am. Which did they even get there? Units, workers killed, 13. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good indeed. And Archons. Yeah, so you know what? I feel this is actually a very good composition against what we're actually going to be seeing. Light on Zealots, which is fine because you don't really want the Ultralisks to reach you. They're very dangerous in that set. By the way, Adrenal Glands is, going to be massively buffed in Legacy of the Void. We're going to be seeing lots of Lings. And our Protoss player has a bit of trouble with roaches inside, just working away at this dark shrine. I'm sorry. That just makes me laugh so much. But he's in a bit of trouble because he doesn't have a base. Yeah, he's got a big army, but he doesn't have any bases. And frankly, our Zerg could lose everything that they have, and with this 52 larva and all this money, just remax instantly. So our Protoss needs to be very careful, especially because upgrades are coming out now. Moving these High Templar forward, I feel, is a bit of a... you see, High Templar are funny, because they can be easily picked off but they also are necessary to pick off these Vipers. And that is very, very important because the Vipers and their pulls will be dangerous, although less dangerous here because what do you pull? An Immortal? Well, they're immortal. I mean, they're not going to die easily. They die far slower than most. As Bly just says, you know, screw it. You have to work your way through the Spine Crawlers. I'm just gonna go kill you now. Dark Templar warp in. Does he actually have detection? One Overseer, where is it? Over here. Oh my gosh, if that falls, Overseer Cocoon, where is it? Oh, it's just sneaky as the DTs do work. But it's going to be for naught as the Overseer comes over. Now it's a bit of a base race, and despite what I said, this is kind of favoring Protoss. Mutalisk's coming out, though. I don't know if that's... I mean, he still has an Archon. He even still has recall. He could just go back if he absolutely needed to. I don't think he does. I think DNS is happy with this. On the other hand, that's basically all the mining he has. Just builds cannons and pylons. That's almost looking like a Bronze League wall off there. But this, you know, as dangerous as this is, the Muses aren't even going to engage. They're going straight for the base trade. And I can see why Bly thinks he will win this. Because honestly, he's in a very good position in terms of money and bases. Compared to what our Protoss has, he's got nothing. But the only issue is he won't have tech soon. And it doesn't matter how much money you have if you can't produce anything. Because right now, he's got a spawning pool for the next, like... Okay, he's got a spawning pool because DNS left him with it. On the other hand, we are in a situation where Protoss has an army, but Zerg has money. And we have a spawning pool coming down, scouted out here. And this is going to be a bit of an issue, because he's going to have to keep these Mutalisks alive, which is both easy and difficult. They will regenerate, they are fast, but this army is very, very good picking off the High Templar. Very, very good. He's got to... Ooh, if he can just... It's those blinks. You see, that Archon is so close to dying, and picking it off would be a very big win, since it's one of the main things that actually prevents Mutalisks from just destroying this. Also, I don't know if... We've got a 1-3, we've got... Actually, I'm going to pick this up. The upgrades are much in the favor of our Protoss, so I'm very worried, as we actually have Phoenix starting to come out in Protoss Air 1. Zerg might be in quite a bit of trouble. We'll see if Bly can pull this off with Gosu Micro. It's just got hatches coming down. It's got that. He's got a lair. Does he have any tech? No, GG. Bly is done. It doesn't matter if you have no money if your army can't be killed. It doesn't matter if you have all the money in the world if you can't actually kill the person. So yeah, GG. Nice to be back. I'll have this up on YouTube. Hope you all enjoy, and I'll see you all next time.